How's it going, YouTube and my future self? Welcome back to the Lab TCG. My name is Will, and today we are going to be talking about using credit cards for your Pokemon business. Now, first of all, before we get into this pretty complex topic, I do want to say thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. I did post on some of my social medias, and I think that number has quite increased since then. I think we're up to like 118. So thank you guys so much for 118 subscribers. I really appreciate it for all the support with my business, me as a person, etc. It means a lot to me. And if you have any questions, as always, you feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to answer and help you out. I want to grow this little community with all of you together, and anything that I can help you with your business, by all means. So with that out of the way, today we are talking about credit cards. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer on this video. A, I'm not a financial advisor, so there's that, the classic. Two, when I'm talking about credit cards, it's assumed and inferred that we're not doing any late payments, we're not doing any minimum payments. This is going to be using credit cards as if they're a debit card. Essentially, you have a credit card and you have cash to spend on a checking account or whatever. You put $1,000 on the credit card, you have $1,000. You can get into leverage if you wanted to, where you try and use the credit card as a way to pay for stuff and then get inventory paid off. But that's not how I run my business. I'm strictly a cash basis. I don't like to use leverage. I think the risk is just not worth it. But if I'm going to be spending money, I might as well get rewarded for it. And that's kind of where we're jumping into this video. So please, if you're going to use credit cards or any of the information here, do not miss your payments. Do not do any of that stuff. Try and use them responsibly and how they're supposed to be used. So, with that out of the way, credit cards. Now, honestly, I love credit cards. I fell in love with credit cards when I was really getting into personal finance. I've studied a lot of personal finance, everything from investing to credit score, all that stuff. And Pokemon and the reselling business is a very high attrition business. You are consistently buying and selling Pokemon cards. You are consistently spending money and lots of it. And there's no point to not get rewarded for those transactions. Now, if you don't have any credit or you have good credit, it kind of depends what you're going to do here. But if you don't have any credit, I would recommend getting a Discovered Secured IT card. There's a ton of other cards. I'll put an image right here. But go ahead and do some research on credit cards in general before you just dive into doing all that. And like I said earlier, I want it to be used responsibly because that's how you make the best of it. But credit cards have a ton of benefits, but if you don't have credit score yet, first, secured cards are a great way, especially if you're younger, to get a credit score and then from there apply to other cards that have better rewards. If you do have credit cards already, you can probably switch them over to business cards, or you can use them exclusively for business transactions, depending on how many you have. It completely depends on your personal situation, what I would advise you to do there, but entertainment purposes only. So, some of the benefits of credit cards. If you don't know, credit cards, you can build credit, and this is important for getting lower interest rate on loans or things like that. You can also build that credit score. It makes you look like a more reliable lender, someone that is going to use money and pay it back. A high credit score attributes to better things. It's going to save you a ton of money in the future. Depending on the card, there can be no foreign transaction fees, which is excellent if you do any type of international payments or you go travel internationally. There's increased purchasing power. I kind of touched on that, but I don't really like to go there. I would say about $30,000 in credit limit across all the credit cards I use, but I don't have $30,000 to be spending cash, so I don't use it that way. I just use it for what I have and what I can pay off to get the rewards that credit cards give you. And there's fraud protection. Probably one of the best things about credit cards, and I've actually been scammed by this, is fraud protection. If you buy something or if you made an unauthorized purchase, you can just call the credit card company and be like, hey, I didn't authorize this purchase, and boom, canceled. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of dancing around there on the specifics, but you're pretty much covered when it comes to liability with credit cards. In addition to that, and this is kind of where I want to touch on, credit cards can help you earn flight miles, which is excellent for traveling. Hotel points, same thing. Cash back and other benefits. There's also sign-up bonuses where, like, you sign up for a credit card, you spend $3,000 in the first month, and you get money back, $250, something like that, depends on the card, just for using the card and meeting the spend. If you're doing this Pokemon business and you're pretty established, $3,000 in 3 months of of spending is really not that high. And, the credit sign up bonuses and limits and all that stuff definitely scales with how much money you are either making or spending. There's some that are like $15,000 spent in 3 months and you get a ridiculous amount of points, but nonetheless. They also have liability coverage and trip coverage, and there's all types of stuff. And depending on the card, they can also have unique rewards to whatever site or company that you are basically giving loyalty to. In addition to this, from my experience with distributors want you to have credit cards. The distributor The distributor I use does not have account transfers or ACH transfers. They use wire transfers. They use it's like when UPS delivers stuff, you have to pay them there. There's a fee for that. Credit cards, generally speaking, is the most accepted way. They do take debit cards, but the debit cards are treated as credit cards, and you're also charged a 2.9% fee plus the 30 cents or whatever it is. Every time that happens, they basically push that credit card fee onto you. That's something that you might not know. So a flat 2% cashback card is going to help mitigate that 2.9% fee if that's something you're into. But that is something to consider if you're going to go to the distribution route eventually when accounts start opening up. Is it would be a good idea to get a credit card and with a high limit, because if you're putting tens of thousands of dollars of product on a credit card, you need a high limit. You can't spend $10,000 on a $5,000 credit limit card. And that also helps with credit score and the amount that you're earning there. But they are important for distribution. And then it also helps your business with purchase protection and cashback, which I said there's so many things that you can choose from what you want to get out of credit cards. And some of my favorite things are cashback and, as you'll see, free flights. Because when the pandemic starts to subside, and maybe even in the coming months, depending on how things are going, I would like to be able to go back to Pokemon events when they come in person, not only to make deals, make trades, but to see people that I haven't connected with in a long time, or to meet new people. If I'm just racking up mileage points or travel points by using credit cards responsibly, I can now travel for free. And I've actually amassed like 88,000 United points in like a year, which is not a ton, but that's a couple free flights in the US, and then internationally it depends. I actually just booked a flight to Frankfurt, but I'm planning on going to the EUIC championships in April, and I could have paid for that entire flight in United credits. And how did I get those credits? Credit cards. So depending on how you use this, if you use it responsibly, you can get tons of benefits. And I highly advise you, after you watch this video, if this is something you're interested in, you go research more in depth on credit cards and specific credit cards, because there are so many options out there. Some of the best travel cards would be like the Chase Sapphire Reserved. I know the AMEX Platinum is also very good. Now, those do come with high annual fees, but if you're traveling all the time, maybe even for work, you could expense things onto those cards, get them reimbursed. You now reap the points. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with credit cards. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase the credit cards that I use. Like I said, high attrition transaction values in this business. I'm consistently buying and selling bulk, buying and selling singles, buying and selling whatever it is. I buy hundreds of dollars of stuff every week. So I want to get rewarded for that, and I have a few ways that I do that. Also, when buying supplies, I think I've talked about it before, but I do have an Amazon business credit card that's attached with an Amazon Prime account. That gives me cash back too. So you can get a ton of rewards depending on how you do this, and sign-up bonuses. That United card that I do have came with a bonus, and that's how I got a ton of points in such a short amount of time. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the screens of all these credit cards. There are going to be links in the description if that's something that you're interested in. Like I said, though, please use your own research when doing this stuff, because mileage may vary, pun intended, when it comes to this stuff. Please use them responsibly. But jumping into it, these are the 3 credit cards that I have. I also have a Discover It secured card, but I'm not going to cover that one. It's not really that unique. It was just like 1% and 2% back on gas. But the first one that I got after I got the Discover It card, I built up about a year of credit score, was the United Explorer card. Now, full disclosure, this card does have a $100 annual fee. It is waived, or actually it's $95. It was free for the first year, but I used United a lot when I was playing Pokemon competitively. I traveled a ton, and this card also has additional benefits other than just like points that make it more valuable than the $100 per year. And there's other cards that you could swap this one with if you're not loyal to United or you don't like United. There's Capital One cards. There's the Chase Preferred, I believe. There's the Chase Inc. Business Preferred. And yes, you can also get business cards if you do not have an LLC or anything. You can just attach your social security number to it. But it is also a good idea to make that difference if you have an EIN, Employer Identification Number. If you have one of those, you can then build business credit, which is not something I know a whole lot about, but I know it's important. So that's also something to consider if you want to get a business credit card. So here is the current offer on this card. If you sign up and you spend a certain amount, you can get 50,000 bonus miles. So 3,000 in the first 3 months, and that, like, realistically, that's a set release. So my Brilliant Stars pre-order is going to be, 2.5 thousand, give or take. So if I buy a $500 collection, boom, 50,000 United miles that I can now go use to travel, pretty much wherever. On all purchases, there's 2x miles on United purchases. So if you buy a United flight, you're going to get that value in double in miles. 2x miles on dining, 2x miles on hotels, and 1 mile on every other purchase. So even if you're not using like specific category rewards, most of these cards are going to give you 1% cash back on everything, or 1 mile on every other purchase. In addition to that, this is kind of neat. I like the United card because it also has a bunch of specific benefits to the card. If you fly United, you get 2 United Club one-time passes per year, which they're saying is over $100 in value. I have not used these yet. I haven't traveled this year yet, but I do plan on using those. Credit card travel benefits, free first checked bag. This is awesome because when I was doing a lot of Pokemon card tournaments, I would try and do as budget as possible, like all clothes in a backpack, basic economy, try and save as much money and not pay for a checked bag. This card, every time I book on United, I now have a free checked bag, and I don't have to pay for it. That's amazing. In addition to that, priority boarding. You board like second group, which is pretty cool. You're not first because you're not skipping ahead of certain, like the premium people, veterans, all that stuff. But you're second priority boarding, depending on who you are. That's pretty cool. Up to $100 global entry or TSA pre-check free credit. As someone that travels a lot, this is awesome. You basically get your TSA pre-check waived. That's the $100 right there. 25% back in United in-flight purchases, not something I do very often, and there's no foreign transaction fees. Very cool. Then you can earn premier qualifying points. There's travel protection, all that stuff, and like I said, the annual fee. This is the only annual fee card I have. I don't want a ton of annual fees. I'm not at a wealth status yet where I would want to take on a huge annual fee. One of the cards that I think would be worth that annual fee is the Chase Sapphire Reserved or the AMEX Platinum, but you really got to be balling for one of those cards. And if you're traveling a ton, they're totally worth it. Okay, and then the next one, I just mentioned this, Amazon Business Prime. If you've checked out the supplies list, you know that I use Amazon for a lot of the supplies. Not only am I Amazon biased, but I really like the Prime 2-day free shipping. I just think the refund system is amazing. Anything that ever goes wrong, you can just get it refunded and send it back. It's super easy. Amazon is a pretty cool company. Like I said, I am biased. But the Business Prime credit card, you instantly get a $125 Amazon gift card if you get approved. There's no like spend $3,000, get something. It's just you sign up, you get approved, you get $125 in Amazon gift card. If you get this, you can now just go spend it on supplies, which is what I did. I got this card, spend it on supplies, and that was that. Also, APR, if you do miss your payments, you do need to pay money. Additionally, there is either 5% cash back on all purchases or 90-day term. So if I purchase something on my Amazon Business Prime card, I get 5% cash back. Or I can choose to basically take a 90-day loan on whatever items that I'm buying. Also 2% back on restaurants, gas stations, wireless phone services, and 1% back on everything else. Now, for this particular card, the 5% cash back, you do need to have an Amazon Prime membership. If you have a household, you can link your membership, your business membership, under someone else's membership, or you can just open your own business account under Amazon Prime. But in order for the Business Prime card, you do need an Amazon business account, which you need some sort of proof that you are a business to do that. And there's some other setup things, but go through the Amazon Prime setup, and then you can set up a business account and you get access to quantity discounts, wholesale pricing, and all that stuff. But I use Amazon a lot. I like this card, personal preference. Then for the flat 2%, the other one that is good here, and especially with distributors, my distributor does not take AMEX cards, so I use the United card when I do this stuff. But the City Double Cash is also a very good card. I don't have it, but I'd like to get some eventually. Then we have the AMEX Blue Cash card. I'm not using the rewards one, I'm using the cashback one. Welcome offer, $250 cashback, $3,000 in purchases in your first 3 months, and then unlimited 2% cashback up to $50,000 spent. I don't think I'm going to be spending $50,000 on this card anytime soon, so as far as I'm concerned, that's 2% cashback. So $600 purchase, you're getting $12 back. Is it a lot? No, but it's more than nothing. So kind of want to conclude this video. If you're using credit cards responsibly, you can get rewarded to use them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away. I'll do my best to answer them, but I would watch this video just to get that idea that credit cards are an option. There are so many credit cards out there, and like, let's say you don't like United. There's Delta credit cards, there's American Airlines credit cards, there's Southwest credit cards. Say you don't like American Express. There's Chase credit cards, Discover credit cards, Capital One, Citibank. There are so many credit cards, it's not even funny. But yeah, credit cards are a really cool tool to have for your Pokemon business. I highly recommend you use them responsibly and you get a few. And yeah, building credit is also useful in other areas, home loans, all that stuff, all that cool personal finance, mumbo jumbo. But if you liked this video, definitely go research other credit cards that are out there and how to use them responsibly, stuff like that. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you are interested in any of these cards, there are links to the cards down below. I will get a kickback if you sign up for them. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had a great one. Thank you again for 118 subscribers. This has been the Lab TCG, and I will see you all next week with another video. Have a good one.